But let's get started in three, two, and one. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan. Your mic didn't come in, Chris. Is this some sort of April Fool's
What?
joke? There we go. We just didn't get to
No.
hear the how are we doing?
Oh, how's everybody doing?
Well, you just kind of ruined. I had a prank for you, Chris,
Oh, okay.
and
I'm sorry.
the prank was so normally we talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. We have a map, a road map of what we're going to be doing, but I'm throwing a wrench in the whole thing. I went to my first ever hockey game yesterday. I went to see the
That's
Capitals,
right.
Capitals Flyers. Um, it was
Hmm.
really cool. I got to admit, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was the hard part was like the first period and a half. I was like, do I watch the puck or do I like try to watch the sideshow? Because I mean, there's a lot going on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Tom Wilson's 900th game with the Capitals,
Hmm.
so that was a big deal. I mean, that was a huge deal. Jeez. And
I
then
love Tom Wilson
oh yeah, people, yes,
in
clearly
this area,
people
not
absolutely loved
not
him.
in any other area.
Um, yeah, yeah, it seems like because he was rough and rowdy for his 900th game. I mean, like he wasn't slowing down. Um, and the Ovechkin a goal gets scored, and oh my goodness, I mean the hoopla when the goal got scored. I mean, I get it, I get the hoopla, and it was cool. Like it was cool to witness. Like they turn the number, and, like the whole everyone goes freaking
Uh-huh.
nuts. Um, and that was really cool. And I was like, I laughed for a second though. I was like, imagine if they did it every time LeBron scored. It's like every time LeBron scored, it's like bang a banner. It's like we gotta pause the game, which is completely different, but it's
Yeah,
funny.
it would be like at the end of the game, you add like however many points he had, throw it up
That would
there.
be actually kind of cool. Like they just like
Yeah.
they like run the tally, and it's like that much more to it. Um, but yeah, we'll do it. Just I mean, we don't need to break it down. It was a 6-5 game though. It was a shootout. Um, but the
A
Capitals
lot of
they
goals.
were up two in the third period, so they seem to have control for most of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, there was the Flyers. It was funny. The Flyers, if it seemed like if they had better stick work and some better shots, they really could have taken advantage. The Capitals defense doesn't look fantastic out there. Um, but that's just my
Good
casual
hockey
analysis.
analysis.
Yeah, that's my casual analysis. Um, but that's all I got. How are they doing? Honestly, I don't even know. I know. Actually, I do know how they're doing. They're 3 games out of the playoffs. Look at me,
There you go.
Capitals. I'm like a
Yeah,
fan
they're
now.
not they're not having a great year considering they were the 1 seed last year. But they were not like a normal 1 seed. I think they just had a lot break their way last year and have kind of regressed this year. So they're kind of in a weird in between of like wanting to ride out Ovi's career, still being competitive, but also trying to get a lot younger. So they traded. I don't know if you know who John Carlson is, but he was on the team, or he's been on the team for like I don't know, 15 years, something like that.
Damn.
Um, Maybe not that long, but they traded him this year um, for a first round pick. So
Oh, so it's
I think
tough
Ovi's
decision
probably
time.
done after this year. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't, his contract's done, and so but yeah, they probably will not make the playoffs, which is a bummer.
that's a shame. You would like the. I was gonna say. I mean, I guess they're still close enough where they are in a fighting chance. So that my point that I was about to make doesn't
Mhm.
make any sense. But the comparison from the Wizards arena to the Capitals arena, which is the same arena, if you don't know,
Yes,
um, is completely. It's like completely different.
it's a
And
different world. Yeah.
yeah, it really is. And it was funny enough. Like I was sitting on the other side. Like I'm normally in 409. I was in 424. So I was on like the
Uh-huh.
completely opposite side of the arena too. So I was really like I was like this is another planet. Um, and I mean I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to see the puck. I like this is how casual I am. I was nervous I wasn't gonna be able to see
Yeah.
the puck, and it seemed like every seat in the house was great. So um,
Mhm.
it was a nice experience. It was a good time, especially
Yeah, it is. It's
Tuesday
hard to
games.
have a bad seat. Oh, they sell out most games,
Yeah, that's impressive. Um, I mean, I guess it's
especially a
not
team for like
impressive
the
for
Flyers,
normal
like
teams, but
for,
yeah,
for a DC team.
yeah,
I
uh,
mean, I think like if the Wizards get good, the Caps have also been good for so many years now,
that's
like
true.
almost 20 years now.
That is true. They're like the Ravens almost of the
Yes,
NHL.
they're very similar. Yeah,
Um, all right. That's all that's the extent of my hockey knowledge. I couldn't name even after watching the game, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you one flyer. Not a single one. So that's all I got.
Beachcloth.
Nope. Nope.
I
I
think
saw
that's
him
the only one
yesterday.
that I got.
There was a there's a cool rookie for your Capitals that I was enjoying watching. Um,
Oh, Hudson.
yes, Hudson.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
was
he was
actually at
pretty
his
cool.
first game a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Funny enough.
That's cool. Yeah, and he's like
Yeah,
what, like 19?
yeah, he's super young.
That's crazy. All right. Well, let's move on to the Final Four, Elite Eight recap, and then a little Final Four preview. The NCAA tournament, of course. Um, and do we want to start with UConn Duke, or I think we should end with UConn Duke, right?
We could save it. It was a perfect transition opportunity because that game was also in that arena,
That is true.
but I kind of had that thought halfway through your spiel, and then I forgot about it until now. So
See, it's funny. It does.
missed opportunity on my part.
It is a shame. Like if we didn't have also have some of the Sweet 16 games to talk about, but I guess we don't really need to talk about them too much. Um, all right, let's just go with Iowa. We'll go Iowa, Illinois. That was we can knock that one out. That one was a scrappy game at first. Iowa was up, and at
It was a nice
halftime,
run for Iowa.
yeah, yeah, they had a solid little run, and then I mean, what we were watching that game at the end at your place, and it just got away from them. Like Illinois just
Mhm.
took the reins and never let go. So Iowa they didn't have enough firepower to keep up once the
Yeah,
bucket
no.
started flowing. But yeah, good run for them. Um, and of course Illinois is still playing, so we they're making the Final Four, run the region. Um, and then Arizona, which we'll talk about more later, but they just walloped Purdue. Um, and again, Purdue though was up in the halftime, and then
Purdue was up, yeah.
yeah, Purdue was up, and then you correctly live bet Arizona at halftime. I just didn't see plus money, so I didn't do it. I feel like a sucker for not taking those dollars though. I should have put the $5 in, gotten my $3 worth.
What
Um,
were they down at half? Like 3? Like it wasn't that much.
seven, seven.
Oh, what 7?
Yeah, yeah, no, and but it
I
was
mean, they were up 10. It felt like you blinked, like the second half started and you blinked and they were up 10.
yep. Well, and you saw the momentum coming at the end of the second half. Like you saw that
I
they
think
were
it's
like
like in the first half.
the end of the first half. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Because you could see like, all right, Arizona's trying to like they just figured out they can just go to the basket, and they're starting to do that over and over
Yes.
again. And then it ended up being a 7 point game instead of like a 13 or 14 point game. So
Yeah, and that was always the flaw with Purdue. Like if a team really figured out how to exploit their defense, then we're gonna get in a shootout and against a team that's as big and strong as Arizona, like they were just never gonna compete. Um, and it's not very difficult to exploit their defense if you have the talent to do it.
no, and it's funny in their
So
offense,
not a
like
team of destiny.
no, I guess
Thought they might
not.
be.
I guess they're not. And terrible timing for our TikToks, which was somewhat of the point and somewhat of not. But um, definitely getting some fun
That's okay.
interactions on that one.
The engagement's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, the and Purdue too. It's funny. It's almost like watching them. They never left. It's like they couldn't live without Zach Edey. They were using that big guy like he was Zach Edey, and he just wasn't.
Yes.
He just wasn't Zach Edey.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Knocking these out easy. I mean, these ones were they ended pretty badly. The Tennessee one. I mean, we don't even that one was just. Tennessee was like happy to be there. That was a happy to be there moment for them. Um, that's
Was that
all
game
I.
ever close?
No, that was a wallop. That was a wallop. But by the
I
time
mean,
I
shout out
turned it
to them
on, it
for
was
beating
already.
Iowa State though. Like that was another that was a legit Elite Eight
Yes,
run though.
yes, that
Like
was
they
a
beat
legit
Virginia
Elite
and
Eight.
Iowa State. So one of the
No, and they weren't
better
big enough for Michigan
seasons
either.
that Tennessee's had,
Yes, this is one of the best, and it's
at least tournament runs.
for one of the lowest rated Tennessee teams we've had in a while.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a successful season for Tennessee for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Rick Barnes is great at getting to the second weekend.
oh yeah,
He gets a lot of crap for not making the Final Four, which he hasn't.
but he
But he
always
does get
makes
the
it.
second weekend.
Yeah, you can count on that.
That's
You can
right.
count on that. And then the game of the day, the game of the tournament so far, maybe one of the games that we will talk about. I mean, one of the shots we'll talk about for years. We watched on Saturday night. We watched. We hung out, by the way. We hang out in person. We
Wait, what are you talking? This was
let's
Sunday.
no, I know, but on Saturday night, let me
Oh,
say, on
okay.
Saturday night we watched top 100 plays just in sports, and
Okay, I see.
one was the either UNC Villanova shot, UNC versus Villanova.
Yeah, Chris Jenkins.
Yeah, is this is this in the top 10? This shot? You should know what we're talking
Well, I
about, by the
think
way. If you don't know what we're talking about, Duke, UConn, just look up the shot. Just look up Duke UConn shot. Pause this podcast. Come back. It'll take you 2 minutes. Your life will be changed.
if you have 10 minutes, I'd watch the whole final sequence. Um, but I actually, it's funny. I had the same thought. But if we're speaking technically, I think that video was of the decade, so it was cut off like the last 5 years. So when we get to 2030,
Yeah,
I mean, till 2020, like
I don't think there's been a moment quite like this.
I don't, I don't think so either.
I mean, it's like a call your
I'm gonna have
parents
to.
type of moment.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I mean, this was
I was by myself and I like yelled,
yeah, oh yeah, and he was just like, oh my
like just out of
goodness,
surprise. Like I couldn't control it. I
yeah.
wasn't mad, happy, or well, I was happy, but in the moment it was just pure shock.
Well, and it wasn't
It
like, and
happened
like
so quick.
you have no
I mean, it's
UConn
so
connection
awesome.
either.
No, I mean, I always root against Duke, but yeah, I wasn't like
Yeah, but like just
really
the
care.
nature of it. Of it could
Yeah.
be any two teams, and I think everyone is having the same reaction. I think Duke fans had
Yes.
the same reaction of, but only instead of like screaming, it's just like nose and just like face trying to
Yes.
rip their
No,
face
when
off.
that yeah. And you like we saw one of those shots last year at Maryland
Yes,
and that react it's not
you're
like
right.
a
That was just
not a
silence.
scream of anguish. It's just yeah. As soon as the ball goes up, there's a part of you that just knows it's happening. Even if it ends up missing, as soon as it goes up, that's all you can feel is like the shot going in. Damn it.
When there's a great video. There's so many angles of this, of course, and it's the ground. It's like the ground angle, and basically to the back of Mullins.
Mhm.
And crowd, like the shot goes up, like the crowd's cheering, of course, because he gets the steal. Uh, Parabon gets the ball, he passes it back to Mullins, and like Mullins takes the heave, and it's just like a pin drop to be heard,
Yep.
and then just the immediate explosion of the
Mhm.
cheers. It was like it's such a small silence, like but it's so loud. It's such a small but loud
Yes.
silence. Um, it was incredible, and they had a similar thing like Arizona where it was. I mean, they were down by much more in the halftime, but going into half, it was like, all right, they're starting to pick up the pace. They're starting to figure it out a little bit, and it made it a 19-point game instead of a 25-point game. So they and then they. I mean, it was just a complete Duke collapse, just like last year, in the same position. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty bad coaching by John Shire. Like that's just blatant bad coaching. You gotta let you gotta let them you gotta let them foul you, right? If you're a boozer. So
Well, I don't blame that on Shire specifically, but they had a timeout.
yes,
You could have
they have a
called
timeout.
timeout.
Could have called
That's
it.
tough. That's tough that they had a timeout.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like in the moment, I get it. Like it's very hard to in the like couple seconds from like whatever happened on the play before to then inbounding the ball to like think about what the scenario is because all of a sudden the ball's in your hands. So I get like I sympathize with the chaos of the moment, but yeah, call timeout. They're just kids.
I think it's a tough, like, I mean, it's an awful play, but
Yeah.
this is gonna be Caden Boozer's legacy for quite some time. And it's uh it's quite a shame because it, I mean, the ball was in his hands and it just happened to be him. Like, it could have been anyone on the team. And
Yep.
there's just now, because of this, like, every other flaw that he has is gonna be nitpicked and magnified, and yeah, like, he's just gonna be, I mean, he's gonna be like a villain going into the draft. Um, so
Is he definitely going in the draft or could he come
I
back?
don't know.
The
I
redemption.
I I mean, he could definitely come back. I think he probably I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough about him. From but what I've heard, I feel like he should probably come back, but I don't know.
He's not like a lottery pick.
No, no, nothing like that.
I mean, I guess like thinking major college basketball blunders. Chris Webber called timeout when they didn't have a timeout. He
Yeah,
still went number one. Had a good NBA career.
that's true. But he wasn't. I mean, like,
But
if it was Cam Boozer, if it was Cam Boozer that did this,
right.
it would be a different story.
Yeah. It is also funny that like at least in my brain, that's still like you say Chris Webber, I don't think about the NBA player. I think about the
I'm
Fab
out.
Five and that moment specifically of him calling the timeout and they don't have one.
Funny. Well, that's because, like, I feel like we missed his NBA career too. So
Right. But like still. I guess it was the Fab Five, so
well,
that's another
so I
conversation.
guess to what you're saying is, no matter what Caden Boozer does in his NBA career, when Caden Boozer gets brought up in 15 years, you're gonna be like, "Oh, the guy who messed up the Duke game against UConn."
Potentially,
Yeah, unless he's like a superstar. But
potentially.
Chris Webber was pretty
Yeah,
damn good in the league.
he was.
So, I don't know. That's it'll be it'll be
Let me
brought up.
ask
It'll be brought
let
up
me see what
forever.
ChatGPT says when I ask what Chris Webber is known for.
Okay. Yeah, let's do. That's a good
That'll
idea.
probably give us something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't mention anything. Don't give it any hints on
No,
yeah.
just what is Chris Webber?
While we're looking that up and while it's processing, I saw a tweet today that was like, "Oh, um, studies show that AI is like manipulative and like will just agree with you." And I was like, "Yeah,
I
have you
saw
not?"
that,
I
yeah.
was like, but I was like, "Have you not noticed that? Like, have you used AI? Have you asked it an opinion and given your opinion about it? It's gonna agree with you and give you reasons why your opinion's right. That's the point
Yes.
of the
I think
machine."
maybe it was just like they were formalizing the research
Yeah,
because I feel like just the vibe test, like
yeah,
I could have told you that.
exactly, exactly.
Whatever I wanted it to tell me, I could get it to tell me.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
so it says he's best known for three major things in basketball. The first is leader of the Fab Five. They revolutionized college basketball, reached back-to-back championships. Infamous moment, called a timeout in the 1993 title game.
So that's his three.
No, no, that was all
Oh,
one,
okay,
that
okay,
he
okay.
was the leader of the Fab Five. But in that, those three bullet points under number one,
Yes.
infamous moment in bold. Anyway, asking if he said he's a lot like a mix of Jokic and early Blake Griffin stylistically.
All right.
That sounds like the best player of all
I was gonna say, all right, Chris Webber.
time. Jokic with Blake Griffin's athleticism. Love to see that. Maybe we did.
Honestly,
Maybe we should have been watching more Chris Webber highlights.
maybe we should. We still, I mean, we're still young. We should start.
Yeah, that's next time. Yeah, top 100
Well,
plays isn't going on the TV. It's
just Chris Webber.
Chris Webber.
Yo, fellas, this is Jokic and Blake Griffin, bro. This is Jokic and Blake Griffin. Um, that's a crazy mix. It's a crazy mix of
Yeah, it
players.
is a crazy
There's
mix.
no player that's like Jokic and Blake Griffin. Besides, I guess Chris Webber, maybe. Um, all right. So we're gonna do something new, which is funny because we just did something new with that AI ChatGPT thing. We're utilizing modern technology today on the Wise
Right?
Guys.
Modern
We're
technology.
yes, yeah, exactly. We're modernizing our our podcast. Um, I need to before I introduce this new thing, I need to click my fan once because I'm freezing. Um, all right. So what we're gonna do is my friend from SBC, which I've brought up before, the Sports Business Classroom. He goes to school in Arizona. His name is Ethan Glaich, and he wanted to be on this podcast. He tried to make it work. His schedule was too packed, so he sent us a voice recording. He sent us a voice recording, all of his feelings about Arizona. He talks about the other side of the bracket as well, and then he talks about what it means um, for the students and the Arizona body and everyone in Arizona. So I'm very thankful that he did this. I wish that he was able to join us. I did say that, the farther, the more that Arizona plays, the farther they go. Like, of course, we want to have him on, um, even without. He's from what you're gonna hear. He does a radio show as well, um, which I'll shout out. It is the Camp Student Radio with a K. Um, as you can tell when you listen, he'd be a great guest for us. So I'm excited. And so listen in with us, and then we'll react. We'll give our thoughts on what he said. Um, I wish sadly what I was going to say, Chris, earlier is I wish sadly I could ask him more questions after what we listened to,
Yes,
but
agreed. We'll
sadly we
take what
cannot.
we can get.
Yeah, exactly. So enjoy, and we'll react all together afterwards.
What up, wise guys? Thank you guys for having my voice recording on the podcast. I wish I could be there in person. Me and Brady have been trying to coordinate this for a while now, but uh, yeah, just been so busy. So I do apologize for not being able to make it live today. Uh, I go to the University of Arizona, and we have a massive game on Saturday against Michigan. Probably the two best teams in the country left. I would have to say that in my eyes, this is the championship. I think this is the two best teams left by far. I think they're both better than UConn and Illinois. And the winner of this ultimately takes it all, which is why I'm very nervous for this game on Saturday. Um, both of these teams play a very similar style of basketball. It's the bully ball. We're going to outsize you, out rebound you, out dominate you in the paint. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger. We don't really shoot the ball. And both of these teams kind of mimic each other in that way. And it starts down low with the both 7 foot centers in Mo Krivas and Ade Mara and Morris Johnson, Koa Pete are both over 220, so they're big dudes in themselves. And we both teams play great defense and can put wings on guards like Yaks versus Archenkov. They can play on the 1, 2, 3, whoever you want to put them on. So eerily similar teams, both score a ton of points, play great defense, both have good facilitating point guards in Joe and Bradley. So I am very nervous for the game, but ultimately, I'm gonna have to side with my boys and the Cats because of our guard play, and it's just tenfold better than theirs in Bradley and Burries. Bradley being the Big 12 Player of the Year, and Braden Burries could be a top 5 pick at this point with how he's been playing. So I do think we have the advantage in guards. It's all about though how our bigs match up with their bigs. They have the size to match up with us, and in the past we have not played well against teams that have matched up size wise to us. So I'm very excited to see how Mo Krivas and Koa Pete match up with Mara and Johnson because they're the same size. But yeah, ultimately, if we stay out of foul trouble, if we hit our shots inside, I think we come out victorious. So I do think Arizona comes out victorious on Saturday. If I had to give you a score, I think we win by 4 or 5. How about like 80, 83-79, 83-79 Arizona. But I want to go to the other game. I want to talk about Illinois UConn. I think these teams match up very well with each other as well. UConn coming off the win of a lifetime. What's going to be talked about 50 years down the line was that Braylon Mullins shot versus a smoking hot Illinois team. I think that Illinois has been unbelievable during this tournament. They're shooting the lights out. They're out rebounding everybody, out hustling everybody. And I think UConn has nearly lost multiple games in this tournament. So I am going to have to pick Illinois to go to the national championship against my Cats. And I think Arizona has too much star power for that. So I do ultimately think Arizona is going to win the national championship, which I can't even put into words how much it would mean for the students, but not only the students, also everybody that's been through this school or a part of this school or lived in Tucson, because it's been 25 years since the last time Arizona's been to the Final Four. 2001, I wasn't even alive for time reference. Now I'm nearly graduated from this school. So it's definitely been a long time, but I think the coolest thing is, everybody's got their own teams in pro sports because of where they're from. It could be Boston, like you, Brady, versus me, Houston. But, if we came to the same school, it would bring us together and have a team to cheer for. So I think it's really cool seeing the streets packed, every TV on Arizona because we're all cheering for the same team. And it's really awesome sight to see a team of yours that also 1,000 other fans of, you know a team succeed like this, and this team has meant a ton to us. Tommy Lloyd is a god of the school at this point, and Braden Burries, Koa Pete. This team will go down in history for the Wildcats.
So he gave us a lot there. That was some really good stuff. A lot to unpack. And first, I want to say I love how the cats. I love that
Yeah.
the cats. Um, and second, I want to talk about that last segment where he's talking about the students and um, how everyone's from different places, but then they all come here and all root for the cats. And it's you know we both talked about our college teams when we were in college, and we both had big games when we were in college, and we both got very excited about those big games. I mean, the single March Madness game that I had in my school when I was a student, I was dressed head to toe in basketball gear, to the point where people were laughing, like, sort of at me, sort of with me, um, in the hallways when I was walking around. So just to know somebody who's at a school currently who's going to graduate soon and is 2 wins away from having a national championship in one of the biggest sports, um, in the country. I mean, maybe it's top two of it's that in football.
Yep.
So, um, I mean, it's something. I'm surprised that he had such elegant words to say, because I couldn't do it. I was proud that he was. I could tell at the end he was running out of words to say, because I couldn't imagine what he must be going through, and that must be so much fun. And he's going to Indiana. He told me he's flying
I think
in.
you have to,
Yeah, yeah. Well, he got
because
he got
like you said,
$40
like it's
tickets
been
for the
25
student.
years and $30
40. So he told me student tickets. So I mean, you take that
plus
10
the
times out
flight,
of
I
10.
guess.
Yeah.
But still, that's crazy. But like you said, it's been 25 years since they've made a Final Four, and think about how good of a program Arizona is.
Yeah.
Like
Every
the
year we talk
last
about him as a 1 or a
4
2 seed.
years, they have been a top 10 team in college basketball, and before that, they've been a 1 seed multiple times in our life. So it's hard to make it to the Final Four. I think it's definitely a must. I was thinking about it last year when when Maryland really got hot in the middle of the season. I was starting to look at it. I was like, all right,
Starting
San
to sweat,
Antonio this
like, when the
weekend.
bank
Like,
account take this.
let me think about it a little bit. No, not even that. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Something
sell
like that.
something, take out a loan, and I'll do the pod from my phone and sell my laptop if I got to. That's a that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, but yeah, so and you're right. Like I can't even imagine what that experience is like, and um, there's like a very small set of schools where it's not like incredibly special every year, like for Duke and for Carolina and Kansas and like the true blue bloods, it's what you expect every year. But for even a team like Arizona that is a top 10 program in the game right now, it's pretty rare to actually make it there. Illinois too, I think it's been since I think they made it in like 2005. I think was the last time they made it. But yeah, a couple teams that haven't been in a while, which is cool. Um, UConn is not one of those teams, obviously, but
Part of my take mentioned they were like, if you are a UConn and Patriots fan, um, you've just had the best life. And I was like, that is, I mean, that is my dad. My dad has had
yeah,
he grew up with some pretty shitty teams, but then I think once he hit like
yeah,
20, like the ball just started rolling for him.
yes.
Um, I mean, he
I
didn't even
imagine most
he
UConn fans are Patriots fans too.
yeah, just
There's
yeah,
probably not a
because
ton of
the
out
kid
of state kids that are going to Connecticut, and like most people. Well, I guess there's probably a lot of New York fans in Connecticut too.
so Greenwich, Connecticut is kind of like the cutoff. Under that is all New Jersey fans because they all work
Okay,
in New York City. Um,
right.
so but I don't know if those people go to UConn. I don't know. I always think that
Gotcha.
since my family's from the Connecticut side of the Pats fans, it's like those
Right.
rich folk over there that live in
The
New
New
York
England.
can go, yeah, they can go hang out over there. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I've trickled down into it, and I've had a pretty great sports life so far. So it's pretty. It's pretty crazy. I mean,
There
my
was
dad.
some shaming
It's
on Saturday night when I tried to enjoy the highlights from my favorite football game of my life. And
there was shaming
it
going
was just
on.
a divisional round game.
Yeah, I had to get a little snobby. I had to get a little snobby with it. Um, the my like this, it's getting so bad where like going into the bracket, I had UConn losing to Duke because I was talking to my dad and I was like, oh, I was like, I like the team this year. Like, I think they could make another run with Hurley. And he's like, I don't see it this year. And now they're like just in the final four, and of course he's ecstatic. But, it's just like
I feel like
he's not
that's
even
the
picking his
danger of
own
talking
team
about.
to make the Final Four. Like, I picked Carolina even though I know they have no shot to win the national championship. I pick them to win every time. And Huey is not even picking his team in the Final Four, and there they are, making it to the Final Four.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like at least in on this podcast, every time we've talked about UConn, it's been like, well, compared to the teams that have won it, it's just there's a lot of holes on this team, and I
Which is
think
all
we've
still
picked
true.
against them. But like they're in the Final Four.
Yeah, no, well, it's the one thing that, um, I didn't sell enough, and which I should have sold to my dad, I let him talk me down, is that Early just like, the second he gets a big man and has, like, a complete roster, like, those guys can have flaws, but that guy's the coach is a maniac. It's like Joe Mazzulla when which is I did the same thing with the Celtics previewing the NBA, um, those types of coaches just don't let these teams lose. They just don't do it, and they have the talent, like, the raw
There's
talent's
always a
there.
floor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the floor for UConn just happens to be very freaking good at basketball. Um, let's, uh, let's talk about since we already talked about them, let's talk about UConn, uh, Illinois. They played earlier this year, actually, um, before Illinois really figured themselves out, but it was, 71-61, UConn victory. And it really I mean, this game, Reed did not do well at all, and they won by a lot. So I think if they can figure out Reed and Mullins, like UConn wasn't the same team either. They were playing completely different players than they do now, and it's gonna be a different game. So I do think that there's the shot for UConn. They haven't dominated anyone this tournament, as Ethan said. So
Mm-mm.
I don't I think it's gonna be close, and I think UConn's gonna pull it out. Um, and if they lose, I think it's gonna be bad. Like I think they're gonna look ugly.
Yeah, I was just so impressed with Illinois defensively. these
Yeah.
last like this second weekend. Like they totally bottled up Houston, um, and did the same thing to Iowa. And it's not like either of those teams are incredibly talented offensively, but um, the vibe that I got from Illinois coming in was just a team that could, you know, run it up to 90 on you. Um, and I've been wrong about that so far, which is what has been most impressive for them. And they have dominated teams. Like they dominated Houston, and the scoreboard doesn't really reflect it. But there was that like 15-minute stretch in the second half was a put them in a torture chamber. So I don't know. It also kind of feels like maybe UConn is going to be coming off of a really emotional win, and there's kind of a letdown there. But I like,
They don't let down.
man, I don't want to pick against Hurley. Like I know he's not coming in
They're
on
not
a
letting down.
like emotional high.
I
Like they could have played. They could have started another game like it was an AAU tournament 5 minutes later, and he would be just as psychotic.
they I'm gonna just all right. I think this is what we should do. I think we should dumb it down. They beat them
Okay.
before when they weren't playing their best guys. I know Illinois wasn't their best either. And they also they didn't use Reed in that first game. Do we know if like we know Illinois can defend against Iowa and Houston and DCU and Penn. Can they defend against Reed? I mean, this guy got 27 rebounds in a game earlier this tournament. So
Yeah, against Furman.
yeah, that's fair. But that doesn't mean this guy dominated against Duke.
Okay. Keaton Wagler played 14 minutes against UConn the first time.
Okay. Yeah,
So
and Reed
that's
played 15, right?
okay.
So it's like, yeah,
It's,
they're different teams. It's gonna be different. But
yeah,
if we
they're
dumb
different
it
teams.
down to
I
a
wouldn't put
degree,
any stock. I wouldn't put any stock into that first game.
no,
It
no.
was in November.
Look, I'd agree with that. But I'm just saying, if we dumb it down to can they guard Reed, I think my answer is no. If you think those foreign guys can guard him? I don't think so. But maybe the collective of them.
Yes. They're so long too.
They are. They are really lanky. No, and they could also shoot the lights out. UConn has been cold all tournament, so they could shoot the
Mhm.
lights out, and it could not
Yeah,
matter.
they were cold from three until like literally the last 4 or 5 minutes of that Duke game.
They couldn't hit anything.
Hung around long enough to
Couldn't hit the
the shots
ocean.
wouldn't matter.
Mm. It's so yeah, I guess you're right. That I'm glad we fought against the dumbing down then. 'Cause, I mean, this game's gonna be good then. It's gonna be a good game. I mean, it's the Final Four. Should be a good game. And it's not like there's 14 seed in there, so
Yeah, it's not San Diego State and FAU.
yeah. And then Michigan,
Oh,
Arizona.
that was a great game for what it's worth.
Yes,
Not
yes,
to
it was.
double
Just the
on that
national
game.
championship was not.
Correct. Not a
Um,
single game that UConn played that tournament was a good game.
no, and Illinois was one of them. If you remember, that was the one where Illinois didn't score for what, like 2 hours.
It was a long time.
Yeah, it was like a drastically long time because there was some
Yeah.
delay. So there was a delay, and then there was like it was a long ass time. All right. And then I love Ethan's analysis about Arizona and Michigan. He knows way more about Arizona than we have watched. From what I've watched, I do love their guard play, and that is going to be their advantage against Michigan if they beat Michigan. And he seems very confident. Of course, he is. He goes to school down there, so would you pick anyone else? Um, so that's our preview. I'm excited. I almost don't want it to be UConn Arizona because I don't want to root against Ethan. Such a heartfelt like I'm gonna be devastated if it's like he gets another he doesn't get that satisfaction because of
Yeah,
UConn. Um,
that would be a shame.
that would be a shame. Um, all
It
right,
is funny, like when he said that this is probably the national championship. I just pulled up the FanDuel odds, and Arizona's plus 180 to win the championship. Michigan's plus 150, and they play each other to get to the championship. So that
it's
puts it into perspective.
pretty
They will
wild.
be heavy favorites, but I like. I think any of these title game matchups are really good matchups.
Agreed. And the thing about, I mean, like I do think like they underestimate. I think UConn and Illinois, both of those other one seeds.
Agreed. Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
all right, let's move
Also,
on. Oh
all right, one more thing.
yeah,
Duke was in that category. That was another thing that he
yep.
said when he said they're the best 2 teams left. Duke was in that, like, trifecta of these 3 teams are better than everybody else, and we've now seen one of those teams lose, so
Completely agree. Um, all right. Well, and it's funny, like when they like I think especially if UConn makes it and they end up winning, it's gonna be a Hurley victory. Like they like
Mhm.
that was a Hurley like as much as that Brandon Mullins shot. I mean, it was a Brandon Mullins victory as well, but that was a Hurley victory against Duke. Like that doesn't happen with
Yeah,
really
they had
any
to
other
come back.
coach.
They had to make up 17 points just to get into that situation.
Yeah. So like they don't even. I mean, with any other coach, that doesn't even happen. So that's going to be their
Mhm.
advantage against anyone else too. So, um, all right, a lot of good games left. It should be a great weekend of basketball and then a great national championship. Um, let's talk about something that I didn't know was happening and is a national story in the baseball world. Um, ABS, is that the title?
Yes. Automated balls and strikes,
Robot umps.
robot umps, but not full on robot umps. It's like when you're watching a tennis match
Mm.
and there's a ball that's hit like right on the line and they challenge it,
Hmm.
and then it shows you that pretty little graphic of where the ball hits next to the line to see if it's in or out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's basically that technology with the strike zone. So you get 2 challenges a game as a team,
Okay.
and there's a pitch you disagree with, tap your head. They pull it up, comes up on the scoreboard, all's either confirmed or changed.
And it takes two
That's it.
seconds.
It takes 10 seconds,
Okay.
I'd say,
Wow.
just because they have to stop the game for a second and see what the call is, and then they
Yeah.
have to say what the call was, and yeah.
Look at that. Look at baseball. Just like the
Yeah.
Wise Guys podcast using modern technology. Look at baseball. The That's funny. This is gonna take it off baseball for a second and actually bring it back to hockey for a minute. I was shocked
There we go.
by how many stoppages uh, hockey has.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it was getting a little bit better, but at the beginning, it was like, holy shit, we doing this every 2 minutes?
It's funny, it's like it goes in waves because 'cause you'll have other games where there's, like, 8 minutes straight of no stoppages.
Okay. All right. So I was just in like a chippy game, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I think that was my biggest complaint about the hockey game, which I didn't think of until you just mentioned that with the ABS, at the stoppages. So
So
that's cool.
what did you see that made you wonder about this? You brought it up
Uh,
for some reason.
Bill, Godfather, Godfather, Bill Simmons. He was mentioned. He talked about it, I think, twice. But I didn't get
Okay.
to that segment where he talks about it yet. He's just mentioned it, like, oh, I'm excited to talk about this ABS thing. And I was like, oh, I don't. What's that?
I don't like I don't know, I don't think there's that much to talk about. I think
Has it
it's like
swung anything so far?
I mean, it gets calls right that or wrong. It is interesting to see how often guys are wrong
Yeah.
with their challenges, and it has added an interesting, um, like a wrinkle in the strategic side of the game of when to use your challenge, and, like, it's kind of funny when you have 9 guys, 10 including the pitcher, that could challenge a pitch at any point, and between those 9 guys, you only have 2 for the whole game. If you get it right, you get it back. But, like, the other night, the Nats burned through 2 challenges in, like, 3 innings, and then in the ninth, they were getting, like, ripped off by the umpire. They couldn't do anything about it. Um, so yeah, it's that's been my takeaway so far is that it's, like, surprising, maybe not even surprising, it's interesting to see guys be incredibly confident and then be wrong. So, I think it's kind of humbling on when you think about this, you would think that it's super humbling for the umpire, which it is. It's pretty embarrassing to have the player hit their helmet, and then you have to stop the game so that everyone can see how wrong you were, and then just jump right back into it. So that's kind of like a social hurdle I think they'll have to get or mental hurdle they'll have to get over. Um, I guess that's part of the job. You have to have pretty thick skin anyway. But I think it's also pretty humbling for the players to be super confident in pitches and then get them wrong. Like the Nats guy
That's
the
pretty
other night,
funny.
they were already out of their challenges. He challenges a pitch, and the ump's like, "Well, you can't challenge it. You're out of challenges." And then they show it anyway, not on the scoreboard, but on the broadcast, and he would have been wrong. It's like, come on,
Over
man.
3. That's bad. 3 strikes, you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been interesting. I like the tapping of the hat. I think it's funny, like when there's a pitch that's so bad and the batter just immediately. It's like sometimes there'll be a pitch that's slightly off the plate, and you can tell that the guy like doesn't agree with it, but he doesn't want to take the risk and burn the challenge. And then other
Other
times
times,
they're
it's just
just
like,
so confident that it's not even a thought.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, the other night there was a guy,
It's such a goofy enough
Eugenio
motion
Suarez.
too. The just
Yeah, it is. But he got called out on strike three. The count was 2-2. He got caught out on strike three, taps his hat. They review it. It's a ball. Now it's 3-2. Very next pitch, called out again, taps his hat, gets reviewed, ball four. He won.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that, right?
Very funny. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, if you
cool.
know, you know.
Well, and, like, as if, like, say it's, like, the bottom of the 8th or or, like, top of the ninth, like, I mean, just keep just
Yeah,
doing it.
it's significant.
Yeah, just over and over again.
Yeah.
Um,
So the other part of it to me that's like kind of peculiar is if they have the technology in the first place, like why do we have two challenges a game? Like
you want every
if you
pitch?
can use it on every pitch, you could like theoretically do it. I don't like maybe they're just waiting to have it sped up.
They
Like
need to
if they
normalize
were
it.
actually using it, if they were actually using it every pitch, it would probably add time to the game. And that's like the worst possible thing that they could do right now because of how much better they've gotten in that aspect. I do think that's where it's going. I would imagine that like as the processing speed, like the more they use it, the better the processing speed will get. And eventually we'll just have full on ABS. I think it's perfect to have the real umpires have to use it though.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because I don't
sweet.
want umpire like a world of only robo umps to me is sad. I love them. Umpires are great.
No, there's
And I
nothing to
think that
complain about.
we like yeah, exactly. We as fans and players need like an outlet so that we don't have to admit when we screwed up.
Yeah,
Like we need somebody to yell at and somebody to blame.
yeah.
And if you take that away, like a shame.
That would be a shame. I totally agree with that. And I think it would be like it's different with baseball because it's such a like the box is the thing. It's like such like a unique thing. And I think like there's
Mhm.
opportunities in football where you could use some sort of ABS um in like the end
Spotting the
zones.
ball.
What?
We
Spotting
don't
the
need
ball.
refs spotting the ball.
That's true. We
Like
don't need yeah. Yeah, exactly. We don't
but
need refs
again, like
spotting the
how
ball.
long is
Well, we
that gonna
need refs
take
like
for
to
them to
make
come
like
back and tell you exactly where it is? And
yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
but
Um
yes, like ChatGPT can't call a pass interference.
Basically mine, thankfully. And but I do think baseball, even though it's a perfect sport for it, does need that outlet because if you, as you just said, if you completely eliminate it, your team is just your team. Your wins are your wins and your losses are your losses, and nobody wants that. Um, all right, should we do some NBA or honestly, should we wrap it up?
It's up to you. You gotta stop.
I do got a movie, but I don't know. We can do 10 minutes. Um,
Sure.
nah, let's save it because
Okay.
the season, well, season like I
10
mean, I'm
minutes
just
is
thinking.
probably not 10 minutes.
Well, and I was thinking that's A, and B is what the hell are we gonna talk about later? So we might as well. Like we just previewed the final four, so
Yes.
we might as well save it.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might not be able to pod this weekend because I'll be up in Jersey. So if that changes things.
Okay. No, it doesn't change anything. Not right now. Um, I don't want to rush out here, so no, that's JJ. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to be able to talk about if we do the NBA, maybe if you can't do a pod this weekend, maybe I'll do like a little 5-minute NBA thing. I'll do like my segment alone, and I'll just do it.
Okay.
All right, that works. Well,
Where are you
thanks
going?
for, huh?
Where are you going tonight?
Oh, glad you asked. I'm going to the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Today is if you don't know,
Oh,
I
it's
didn't.
Mario Galaxy. I thought it was just like a sequel from the first one.
Oh no, they're going to space, brother. They're going to space.
Okay.
Um, it is. I'm I'm not as excited as I was for the first one. I was very much excited for the first one. I,
What's
I
wrong with
had
this one?
I have my doubts. It seems like they're trying to shoot for the moon. And all I need them to do is just go to the next step. They don't need to go like see, like I didn't like it when they announced the Galaxy part. I wanted just a sequel. Just wanted a sequel. I didn't need
But
a
that's the game.
I know it's the game, but there's multiple of just the normal games. Let's just get some legwork under us, you
There.
know? We don't need to be
When are we
going.
going to get a Mario Kart movie?
Well, I think they're
Like, I
gonna
know
make
they
like
have
a
the car
I think
in the first one.
from what it looks like on the previews and the leak shit, because there's always leak shit. Um, which that's another rant for another day.
Even
Um,
for the Mario movie, there's
yes, yes, yes. I'm tired of trailers. I'm tired of like leaks. I'm tired of movie Twitter, like all that shit. I'm done with. I just want to watch the movie. I'm in the mindset now. I'm too old to be watching trailers. Too old. I'm either gonna.
just get what you get.
I'm either gonna go like the movie or I'm not gonna like the movie. And the only time I like the trailers, I'll take the trailers in the movie theater. I'm either gonna see the movie
Okay.
poster and be
Yeah.
like, I want to see that movie, or I'm not gonna see
Wait, so but trailers aren't leaking anything.
it.
Like,
It's
that's
like
kind of the whole point, right?
Yeah, and then but like some trailers give too much, and the trailers aren't actually made by the people who make the movies. It's a marketing company that does it, so they just take the best shots. They don't try to hide anything.
Mm,
So it's like,
interesting.
yeah, it's I don't know, it pisses me off. And then there's like, oh, this frame is like edited because whatever. Like the Spider-Man, like the Marvel stuff gets insane. Like these people would like deep dive and like, um, maybe that's my own fault. Sounds like it's my own fault when I'm saying it out loud. Um, but. Anyways, long story short, seems like they're trying to do some Smash Brothers shit.
Oh, that's right. He did say
And
that.
what are we doing here? I don't need a Nintendo cinematic universe. And maybe I do in like 5 years, but like again, let me get some movies under me, man. Let me get some framework. All these people try to do Marvel and they don't realize that Marvel spent like 8 years setting that shit up for the Avengers. They didn't just pop out the Avengers.
No, it was like Captain America and Hulk and
Exactly.
Iron Man.
Yeah, they had Thor, they had Iron Man,
Yeah,
I think
or
they had two Iron Men. They had Thor, Captain
right.
America. I mean, and that's how you get to that's what you're supposed to do, and then you bring them all together. You don't start them off all together.
Mhm.
Doesn't make any sense. So it's like I don't know. If they do some Avengers type stuff, I'm gonna be losing it, and I know Kevin's gonna love it. So um, I know no matter what slop they throw out
Yes.
there, he's walking out of that theater loving it. Which is okay. Which is honestly, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that
Yeah.
whimsicality next to me. I'm gonna be like that, um,
Yes.
that childlike wonder. Um,
Yeah, you don't want to go to a movie and not like
no,
it.
no. I want to like this movie.
Yeah,
I'm putting my guard up. Putting my guard up.
that's
I'm not gonna be hurt by the Mario movie. Um, so it's yeah, but I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to see it. Clearly enough to see it on Wednesday, uh, when the movie comes out on Friday. So um, yeah. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully I come back and before the NBA preview, I say go see the Mario movie.
yes.
Um, uh, honestly, I Kevin texted me. I think it was like a week or two ago, and he's like, "You want to go see the Mario movie on Wednesday?" And I was like, "It's coming out already?" I was like, "It's." I feel like the first one just came out.
It was a couple summers ago, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, but
Yeah.
it just
I
doesn't.
saw
I
that in
guess it's just
theaters.
fine. Yeah, I mean, I saw it opening day. I shaved my mustache, had a hat. I was wearing overalls. Oh man,
Nice.
yeah, it was a good time. But I really like that. The other thing too is that first movie has a high bar. Like I really enjoyed that first movie. That was a good movie.
I thought it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought it was like it wasn't like it wasn't a cinematic masterpiece, but it was fun.
Well, I mean, if you're expecting a cinematic masterpiece
Well, no, yeah,
when you
it
go
was
see Mario,
not.
you
It
probably
was
have to
not.
adjust your expectations a little
That's
bit.
true. I'm not expecting that at all. But I do. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's getting like I don't what the first one get on Rotten Tomatoes because this one's getting like this one's getting like 58%. I'm like, hey, that's not good. But
That
they
might
never
be
like the animated
no.
sequels. I don't
Yeah,
think there's ever
that
been an
might be
animated
good.
sequel that's been good rated. So
Yeah, Lego Movie 2 is bad.
that's another reason why I never even got to see the Lego Movie 2 because I heard it was bad and I never saw it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our NBA
59%
preview.
the first one got.
Oh, the first one got 59%. All right, now that kind of
Yeah,
raised my expectation. All right,
but
now I'm kind of back in.
it got a 95% on the popcorn meter.
Oh yeah, of course it did. The movie was fantastic. All right, I'm kind of in now. Kind of back in. Kind of sold me
What
with
did
that one.
Super Mario Galaxy
Yeah, what's it at
with
now?
pop? Oh, I guess no, nobody's.
Nobody's seen it
There
yet,
is
so
no
nobody.
popcorn meter. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the tomato at?
I got it. Oh, I thought you just said it was 58.
Yeah, I thought you just looked at it. Sorry, I think it is 58. But I just looked at
I was mid typing it in. 45.
it. Ooh, rough. Hey, they didn't like the
Sizably
first one,
worse.
so yeah, that is worse though. All right, well, that is our Super
Ooh,
Mario
yeah.
preview.
I
Uh,
won't read any reviews. I don't want to put anything in your mind.
no, yeah, don't read anything. Don't read anything. I don't read reviews either. I don't do any of that. My
No,
mom reads
especially
reviews.
before
It
the
drives me
movie.
and my dad crazy. We'll be like on the way to the theater, and she's like, "Oh, this review says it's like really good." I'm like, "Wait, we're going to see it. Who cares? Like, we already paid for the tickets."
Also, like a movie critic reviewing the Super Mario movie, like grow up.
Yeah, I don't need him to have his little pipe. Like,
Right.
Mario really didn't jump this high in the video games. Shut up. That would be awesome. That's how Kevin was. He's like, "That's just not accurate." Like, that would be so funny. That would be awesome. Um.
Gosh.
All right,
All right.
I gotta get
Well,
rolling.
enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in some capacity later this week.